Whether you're in the mood for love or you just really fancy bashing a giant monster with a great big hammer, well, Xbox has got a brand new game for you to fall head over heels with this February. So why don't we take a look at everything that's on the way, but before that, I'm going to save you a bit of cash on a great game. Lovely bit of bunts. This video is brought to you by Fortnite OG Chapter 1 Season 2. So here's the thing, Xbox gamers have the chance to grab a great deal on some indie darlings with the Indie Selects Anniversary Sale. That's once a year, in case you didn't know that. Running until February 3rd, it includes titles like the award-winning poker roguelike Balatro, the co-op haunted house game that everyone's talking about, Phasmophobia, and the absolutely adorable action-adventure game Kena Bridge of Spirits. And then there's the circliest shooter ever made, Rounds, and Stalker Legends of the Zone trilogy, which actually brings the 3 original games to consoles for the first time ever. And then, of course, you can just go grab the new game from the Game Pass library, saving even more money. Clever. Alright, but what are you really here for is some new games. So on February 4th, all your dreams are going to come true as you finally get your shot at being me, Henry. Although I'm actually talking about Henry of Skalitz, the hero of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Well, in this epic action RPG, you're going to be guiding this Henry on a quest to avenge his parents that takes him across 15th century Bohemia, getting to know basically everyone from the peasants to the nobles. And if you did enjoy getting medieval on your enemies in games like Chivalry, you'll love Kingdom Come's crunching first-person combat. Can be a bit brutal though, so maybe stick it on easy for the first little bit. Whichever way you play it though, this is guaranteed to be a game with a hell of a story, with 5 hours of stunning cinematics that are gonna look all the more cinematic in 4K Ultra HD on the Xbox Series X. Can't wait. From lawnmowers to goats, there's always something new to simulate here on Xbox, except for that one thing everyone keeps asking gets put on Game Pass, but less of that. But first off, we're going to try our hand at a little first aid with Ambulance Life, a paramedic simulator. Arriving on the 6th, this game lets you experience every aspect of the job, dashing out to the scene of the accident as fast as you can before figuring out what's even going on, and then deciding how to treat it. Also as fast as you can. It's nerve-wracking work that just requires good judgment and cool decision making. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs, you should be just fine. And if they have already lost their entire head, well, there's not much you can do about that anyway. And then history is going to be made on February 11th when the latest entry in Sid Meier's legendary strategy series arrives. Civilization 7 will once again have players guiding their people through the ages, helping them to accomplish great scientific discoveries, build incredible monuments, or just get really, really good at fighting. Yeah. The big change this time around though is that you can mix and match the leader and civilization you play as. So let's say that you want to put Catherine the Great in charge of Mississippi just to see how things would play out. Well, you absolutely can. Sounds like a disaster, but feel free to prove me wrong or just tell me which leader civilization combo you're thinking of lining up. Hit the comments. Arriving on the 14th, we've got 3 renditions of Lara Croft's classic adventures, beautifully remastered to play at up to 60 FPS on the Xbox Series X and S. Oh, be still my beating heart. Tomb Raider 4, 5, and 6 Remastered is going to give players the chance to explore the lost tomb of an Egyptian god and uncover an ancient prophecy, all while trying to convince the people around her that she isn't A, dead, or B, a murderer. Problematic. Naturally, she'll also get to do plenty of puzzle solving and pistol blasting along the way, and if you feel truly nostalgic, well, you can even switch back to the original polygonal graphics whenever you feel like it. Remember those developers behind the Life is Strange games? Yeah, they're back on the 18th with the first part of their new narrative adventure, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. The story in this one's going to be divided between 2 timelines, following a group of high school friends as they experience a life-changing summer in the mid-90s, and then we're going to catch up with them 27 years later as they reunite for the very first time. And there's a really good reason that it took them that long to meet up again, so prepare for some serious tea to be spilled. Lost Records actually features dynamic dialogue, where the conversation is affected by things like where you're looking and whether you choose to interrupt or ignore other characters. And if you like Tape 1, well, you can look forward to the 2nd installment on March 18th, which is appropriately named Tape 2. If you ask me, Avowed has two things that every good RPG needs: interesting choices for you to make, and the ability to shoot fireballs at anyone who gives you grief about them. Obsidian's new game is going to take players to the fantasy realm of Eora, a place that Pillars of Eternity players will already be familiar with. But even if you're a newcomer, you're going to quickly come to understand that this is a place that is bursting with political tensions, magical maladies, and all sorts of secrets. Basically, makes for the ideal setting for a grand fantasy adventure. I'm talking from how you fight to who you fight with. Avowed is just a game that can be played 100 different ways, with a rich cast of NPCs for you to forge relationships with, and a deep dual-wielding combat system that has you combining weapons and wizardry in all sorts of fun ways. Based off what I played already, it is looking sensational as well. I mean, visually, the tapestry of colors you're going to come across, this is a world that you just can't wait to get lost in. But honestly, the best part is that Avowed comes day one to Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass on February 18th. Well, maybe the fireballs are the very best part, but nah, Game Pass is pretty sweet. But next, the Like a Dragon series is going to be sailing off in a brand new, delightfully weird direction on the 21st with Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. I would say that weird probably isn't a new direction for the Yakuza series, but the pirates are at least. This time it's starring Goro Majimarrrr, he of the eye patch and questionable sanity, and it's going to take players on a nautical adventure that combines naval battles with the series' classic brand of real-time brawling action. So by switching dynamically between Majimarrr's classic mad dog fighting style and his new piratey sea dog one, you're sure to kick some serious ass. And naturally, this being a Like a Dragon game, there will also be a whole world of mini-games and side quests for you to peruse when you get through with all the swashbuckling fun. I don't know what all you Monster Hunter players have been up to, because apparently there's still more monsters to hunt and more ways to hunt them on the way in Monster Hunter Wilds, which arrives on the 28th, so hopefully you finish the job this time. This latest entry in Capcom's legendary critter bashing series is going to give players some extremely sick new tricks to play with, like the ability to fire ranged weapons while mounted, which is a great way to chase down your sprightlier monsters, and also a focus mode for delivering precise melee attacks, which is honestly a great way to make those monsters a lot less sprightly. But there's also going to be new challenges too, with dynamic weather conditions and monsters that know just how to take advantage of them. So you're going to have to keep on your toes if you don't want to go from Monster Hunter to Monster Hunted. Speaking of, Fortnite got a monster of a new update in January, which I reckon is going to be making a splash way into the next month, because portals have started randomly appearing on the map, with the first player to jump through it emerging as the king of monsters himself, or herself, Godzilla. And there's also a ton of other Monsterverse content up for grabs too, from the store and the Battle Pass, from a Mothra glider to a King Kong outfit. Something wicked this way came to Diablo 4 at the end of January as the Season of Witchcraft kicked off, and that means that players can now get their hands on a whole bunch of witchy new powers and take on a gross new set of enemies called the Head Rotten. Plus you get to hang out with a coven, which honestly I've always wanted to do that, provided I don't get turned into a stew or something, or a potion. I've got one last thing for you. Black Ops 6 and Warzone players are going to have a ton of new toys to play with thanks to Season 2 that kicked off right at the end of January. There are 3 new maps, giving them the chance to fight their way across luxury car lots, high-rise buildings, and speeding getaway ships. Gun game returns, ranked players back for Warzone, and there's some great new zombies content too, including a chilling new wonder weapon. Wonder what that could be. Well, that's your lot. We'll have more to say about these great games and more as the month rolls on, so make sure you subscribe and ring that bell before you go. Bye! This video is brought to you by Fortnite OG Chapter 1 Season 2. Your favourite POIs from classic Chapter 1 Season 2 are back. We're talking Haunted Hills, Snobby Shores, Junk Junction, and Tilted Towers. And hey, while you're there on a nostalgia trip, more OG items will become available over the course of the season, like the Small Shield Potion, Boogie Bomb, Chug Chug, Minigun, and more. Plus, there's a new OG Pass with rewards inspired by Sparkle Specialist and Black Knight, as well as Cuddle Team Leader.
I'm so exhausted, I needed the energy, needed to pick me up. I'm in your movie, but this is my cinema.